Alright, so I just dragged everything in shuffle mode. This is Blue Lit Moon, Dad is Glad, and we're doing like a rough mix. So we're going to go over this stuff here like this. I'm going to change my tempo here. Let's go ahead and make sure I turn off my elastic audio. My computer defaults to elastic audio mode, if y'all remember that. I do not need elastic audio right now, so I'm going to turn it all off on everything. I'm going to change my tempo to 114. And we're going to go in here. I'm going to go quick. First of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to organize this real quick. So I'm just going to go in here, all my drums. I'm going to change the color of my drums to this kind of orangey color. I'm going to get my bass, change the color of my bass to this red color. I'm going to get my acoustic guitars, change the color of my acoustic guitars to a kind of, let's go with purple. And then my vocals, we have lead vocals. All my vocals are green, and let's do this color green right here, boom, and then this one here, we'll do a different green. Awesome. Let's do this green here. Ooh, I like that green for the main vocal, actually. Use that green for the main vocal. Kind of this. There we go. Okay, cool. So I have these colors here, and so here's our basic organization. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to subgroup all of these here. So how do we subgroup stuff? So let's just make sure we go back to the notes here, check out our notes, and go down here to the one that says subgrouping. Where are we? Busing, routing, that's Audient, Ableton, Pro Tools, Subgroup Mixing. Here we go. So let's just take a look at these notes here. Subgroup mixing. All right, so subgroup mixing, we're going to group similar groups of instruments. There's not a lot going on with this mix, so it should be pretty easy to subgroup. I'm going to think sectionally. How do the different instruments fit together? Again, this one's pretty easy to do this to. So we're going to go down here, instruments to subgroup. We got the drums, bass, guitar, all that stuff. So how do we do it? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to set up an aux track, and then we're going to send everything to the aux track. So we create a stereo aux track, then we set the input to a bus, and decide which tracks you want to send to it, and then you send those to use the track's output. That's the main thing. There's only a couple steps here. It's super, super easy. So let's just see this in action here. I'm going to do this a couple ways for you as well. So right now, I'm going to just go ahead and click next to my tom here, the last drum here. I'm going to click next on that one. I'm going to make a new stereo aux track. I'm going to name it Drum Group. Now I'm naming it DR space GRP because I like to abbreviate everything. I take out my vowels most of the time because Pro Tools is going to chop down the names anyway for longer names. So I like to do it myself. So Drum Group, I hit enter. It is a stereo aux group, and I'm going to go up here, stereo aux track, and I go here to my bus 1 and 2. Boom, set the input for bus 1 and 2. Down here, all my tracks here, I'm going to set the outputs for these right here to bus 1 and 2. Boom. Make sure we solo safe that, and I'm going to go ahead and change that color on that one so it's basically the same color. Maybe slightly, yeah, I'll make it the same color. So there we go. So what we've done here is now all these tracks are going through this one here. So if I go over here to where the drums kick in, I'm going to mute all these other tracks here. And they're all going through this drum group track right here. Right, so I can just grab this one track and turn it down, which is pretty dope. Okay, cool. But the other thing I want to make sure I do is I want to make sure, oh, what is up, Darrell? How you doing? I want to make sure that I solo safe all those, not solo safe, sorry. I got thrown off there for a second. I make sure that I set up my Pro Tools mix and edit groups here. Let's go here to Darrell. There you are. Cool. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go down and I'm going to highlight all my drums, but not the drum group here. I'm just going to highlight these, and I'm going to hit Command G. With Command G, what that does is it brings up my create group for Pro Tools. I'm just going to call it drums. And in here, on my ID, I'm going to set this to D. Okay. So I can set up, so I can easily turn my groups on and off. I saw one of my friends work like this, and I really liked the way I liked it a lot for like my shortcuts and stuff rather than doing other stuff. So this would be, yeah, this is a Pro Tools mix and edit group, and we can see here what type of group I'm making: edit, mix, and mix edit. I'm going to do both. I'm going to do mix and edit because I want to edit everything all together. So I'm going to hit OK, boom, and now you can see over here I've got my drums, and I can turn it on and off by hitting the D key on my keyboard because the ID number is D, and I've got my my keyboard focus mode turned on right here. So I can hit D and it turns it on and off. When it's on, it's highlighted. You can also see they say they're in the drums group right there. When it's off, it's not highlighted anymore, and it says no group. Okay, so what I've got here, once it's on, I can grab them and just turn them down right here. I don't really need to do that because they're not too loud. Turn my volume down a little bit on my headphones. So I can adjust my volume right here on the overall drums, and we're going to come back to that, but let's go ahead and just group our other instruments together. So we have two acoustic guitars here, so I'm going to go ahead and make a new stereo aux track. I'm going to call this one guitar group, like that. Boom. Set the input for a different bus, 3 and 4. Go to my guitars, set the output here for bus 3 and 4. Make sure I solo safe this. Let's find a place that has acoustic guitars. Where's my acoustic guitars? Oh, there's really only one acoustic guitar in here. Oh, okay, I see. So there's like an acoustic guitar here in the beginning, which I don't know what that one's doing. We got this one here. Let's listen to this. I'm going to solo this out. Cool. Awesome. Okay, cool. So we got this here. You can see it's going through this one here. And I mean, honestly, there could be some argument made for, do we really need to subgroup these guitars? Because there's only one. Like the bass, I'm not going to subgroup the bass because there's just one bass. But the answer is, yeah, it's not a bad idea. Actually, you know what I am going to do with this bass? Let's go ahead and make a subgroup for the bass as well, just because of what we're going to do coming up. Actually, do we need to? Let's do that later if we need to. So the guitars, do I need to subgroup them? Maybe, maybe not. But I'm going to go ahead and do it just so we have practice doing it. And then over here, I'm going to highlight both of my guitar tracks I just made because I got one that's green and one that's purple. And that allows me to see the colors for both of them. So I'm just going to click purple so they're all purple because I want my guitars to be the same color. Now let's go over to our vocals and let's go ahead and subgroup the backing vocals first, and then we'll subgroup all the vocals together. So first of all, I'm going to make a new stereo aux track. I'm going to call this one BV. I'm going to call this one background vocals. Boom. And I'm going to take this one. I'm going to go input is going to be bus 5 and 6. And then these here, these backing vocals, I'm going to send it from the output over to bus 5 and 6. There we go. Solo safe. Boom. Now, I want to subgroup all my vocals together as well, so I'm going to make one more, whoops, hey, not you. I'm going to make one more stereo aux track, and we're going to call this just vocal group. Oh, let me change this into background vocal group. Let me put the word group in. I always like to put the word group in tracks that are subgroups because that way I know. Now, here's the thing with this is that I'm going to create a new bus here, 7 and 8. And I'm going to use any track now that's going to my main output here for these vocals here. So I've got the lead vox, and I've got my background vox track here, this one. I'm not going to send these because these are already going to this one right here, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and click on this, I'm going to send these over to 7 and 8. Boom, and now they're going to 7 and 8. So what's happening here is these vocal tracks here are going into this aux track here for a group, and then all my aux tracks, this one and this one, are going into this one here for an overall vocal group. Now, the other thing I want to do though is I want to subgroup my instruments as well. So I'm going to do the same thing for my instruments. Instrument group. Hit OK, stereo aux track. Set my input to bus 7 and 8. I'm going to set it to bus 9 and 10 because we're not using bus 9 and 10. Solo safe it. now all of my instruments that are currently going to my main outputs are going to go here to this one. So I'm not going to do all my individual drums because my individual drums are subgrouped into here. Same thing with my guitars. But what I am going to do is I'm going to go here with the drum group, my bass, my guitar group, all of these, because these are going to my main outputs right now, these are going to go to my bus 9 and 10 so that I have my instruments going on. So now when we listen to these, I'm going to go ahead and mute my vocals. Cool. Let's get a master fader as well. You can see we're clipping like a little bit. We're not going to hear it clip like that because Pro Tools actually shows you a red part before, but it's still too loud. But what we can do is we can see here, we've got our instrument group right here. Let's get our vocals.
I sit in a corner of the
So what happens is here we have our instruments and we have our vocals and our instruments.
My body's so cold now, I'm letting go.
I'm gonna pan these left and right.
This time everyone will know.
Okay, I'm not really sure how they recorded this. Okay, this is not a stereo. It's yeah, they recorded this kind of weird. It's not like a stereo thing going on here. So we are going to not make these stereo. We're going to do some cool tricks to this to make it sound more stereo, okay? But not yet. We're going to hold off on that. We're going to finish our organization. And one of the cool things that's happening, if you go ahead and you start organizing your tracks from the very beginning, one of the things that I notice that happens for me is that as I'm setting up my groups and I'm setting up things and I'm listening to things here and there, it helps me start to get ideas for what I want to do later. Because as I'm going, I'm starting to think about like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do the other thing. And so this is really going to help me to kind of do that, to kind of get an overall feel for the song. If you're a mix engineer and you're working with a lot of different people all the time, lots of different projects and stuff like that, one of the things you're going to want to do is learn how to get a feel for what's going on as quickly as possible. And taking this time to organize and set things up is going to really help with that. It's going to really help you to kind of get things going. So organizing this stuff is not just for keeping it organized. It's also for taking this time to kind of get to know your track a little bit, get to know what's going on with stuff. So there's a few reasons why we want to organize things. So, it's great stuff. This is great stuff. Okay, now let's go back and do all of that again. Okay, but I'm going to do it a slightly different way. I'm going to set all these for no inputs, no outputs. Let's see here, no inputs, no outputs. I'm going to get rid of all my groups. And we're going to do it one more time, but we're going to do it faster. I'm going to show you a better way to do it. Delete all of these. And so I've got everything is like color coded. That's great. Let's go ahead and set these all to output, our main output. Boom. Okay, so everything's color coded. Now, what we're going to do here is I'm going to go to my setup IO real quick and just get rid of all those buses that I just made. So all this stuff here, boom, boom, boom. Well, I actually didn't make any new buses. Okay, cool. So, oh yeah, you thought you were yeah, a lot of people do. That's not subgroup mixing. And I think I maybe mentioned that to you in your project when you submitted that it wasn't actually subgroup mixing. You're milestone 5. Okay, so we got our drums here. Let's go ahead and Pro Tools mix group our acoustic guitars here. Although, honestly, what is going on here? I don't understand why this is on its own track. We don't need to actually... And these two, these background vocals here, are really... You know what it is? It's really that they probably just recorded them at separate times. So what we could do is stick them on... Well, I'm going to keep them on separate tracks just because I'm actually probably going to separate out some of these other things too, because you see how loud this is right here compared to these others. We're going to go through and we're going to listen to it and check it out and see what we want to do with tracks and stuff like that. I'm not really sure because there's also a lot of noise going on in here. I'm just kind of talking out loud as I go. There's like a lot of noise. What is this? What's he doing here? Oh, I just bleed.
I live my life, I make my own plans.
Okay, cool. We're gonna see what to do about that bleed. We may or may not, because you see here there's also like, there's like silent bits. Yeah.
Nothing can go away.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna come back and take a look at that in just a second here. You can tell that he was probably recording this stuff while he was playing his guitar.
I drove through life with no given.
But this stuff here, they cleaned up. Yeah, they cleaned up all the stuff here, so there must have been like a different take or something possibly there. So we're gonna go through and we're gonna kind of mess around with that a little bit here in a second. We're not gonna do that quite yet, but I'm not gonna make a Pro Tools mix group out of these, just out of the drums, because these don't really go together. Like you don't need them in a mix group really, or an edit group rather. But I am gonna make a mix group, so I'm gonna group them together. And see here we have our edit and mix groups. I'm not gonna make an edit group. I am gonna make a mix group because I want to be able to mute them and solo them here. So we're gonna call this one vocal group, not just vocals. Give it track ID what? Track ID V. Okay, V because vocals. I keep the first names there. We're going to have these ones here. Guitars, acoustic guitars. So it's going to be an A, Command G. AC guitars. Again, not an edit group, just a mix group. And we're going to call this one A because AC guitars, acoustic guitars. And as you do this, you'll start to get little ideas for yourself and how to do it and everything like that. The bass here... we're not going to do that because it's just one thing. It's not multiple things. So what's cool about this now is I can solo out my guitars. I can solo out my guitars. I can solo my vocals. I can mute my vocals. I can solo my drums. So we have this here, but this is not subgroup mixing. So we're going to do subgroup mixing again. We're going to subgroup mix these again, but we're going to do it a slightly different way, an easier way actually, because people will say to me, oh, well, it's much easier to do subgroup mixing and stuff in Logic. And I'll say, well, that's only if you don't know how to use Pro Tools. So let's go ahead. I'm going to close this out because I don't need to color code stuff anymore, do I? I do need to color code stuff. Well, whatever. We'll keep it closed. So what I'm going to do is this. Here's the easy way to do stuff in Pro Tools. I'm going to highlight all my drums like this. Hold down Shift and just click them. And then I'm going to go here to this last one here on the right. Hold down Option and Shift. That's going to apply this change I'm about to make to everything. Option and Shift. Click on that, go to new track here. Now, my new track is already set for stereo aux input. Boom. I'm going to call this one drum group. I hit go. Now, what it does is it just made a new aux track for me, and it set the input to drum group bus, and it set the output of all of these to also drum group. So now, the only thing I have to do with this is solo safe it.
Yeah!
Whoa! You calm down, buddy. You just chill. All right, so we definitely have to turn that down, right? So all these drums are now subgrouped together. How cool was that? How easy was that? Let's do that a couple more times here. Let's do it over here with the guitars. So I'm gonna shift click them, go over here to the right one, hold down Option and Shift, click on the output of the last one here, go to new track. Call this one AC guitar group. Hit go. Boom. It makes a bus called AC guitar group. Sets the inputs and the outputs. Solo safe. And we are good to go. Let's do the same thing with our backing vocals here. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. BG vocal group. Go. Boom. Solo safe. There we go. Now let's do it with our vocals here. Boom, boom, boom. Make a new track, hold down Option Shift, click on this here, new track here, call this one vocal group, boom, boom, boom. Everything is stereo. Remember, most of your auxes are going to be stereo. And let's go back and do our instruments as well, our drums, our guitar group, our bass. Oops, let's do like this, boom, boom, boom. and then Option Shift, new track, instrument group. There we go. Now this one I have to move it over, so I'm just going to put it here at the end, make sure I solo save it. And now, there we go. Now, T says, I like that you taught us both ways. Yes, the reason why I taught you both ways is very, very important. It's because sometimes when you're doing it this way, sometimes Pro Tools does weird stuff and it will not actually connect the dots correctly. That doesn't happen very often, and actually as we travel through time into the future, it happens less and less and less, I've noticed. But it's really good that you know how to do it with the buses and with the old school way. And whenever you've seen me do it, you've seen me do it the other way before, just making the aux track and then sending the buses around, because that's really important for understanding how routing works. But this way here is the fast way, so it's a good way to do it. So let's go ahead and just check out what we got going on. Cool. Awesome. Okay, cool. So now we have all these instruments going on here. I'm going to go ahead and keep that like that. Great. So I think we're in a good place. I'm going to go ahead and save that. So we've got a nice save going on there. We're going to come back to those vocals. We are going to keep the vocals muted. You'll notice that I do not actually have to mute these vocals here. I only have to mute the subgroups here, and that's because we've got everything subgrouped together. So there we go. Cool. So let's start with our drums here. I'm going to go ahead and mute the guitars, and I'm going to mute the bass, and let's go ahead and start with our drums here. Just give that a listen. I'm going to go ahead and turn my drum group off. I'm going to move the overheads to the end over here. Cool. So I got my kick and my snare. Awesome. Now I'm going to take my toms. I'm going to pan the toms around over here. Oops. And I'm going to loop a part of the song. Yeah, let's loop this part of the song right there. Put it back into grid mode here. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, there we go. And I see that this person, it is in 114. Let's put on a click. Come on, Mac. Let's put on a click track here. And see, okay, let's listen to the click track here for a second. I want to get this going with a kind of a click track, or at least some semblance of a click track. I don't think they recorded it with a click track, though. I think it was just him playing. So I don't think it's actually... Okay, how can we align this whole thing with the click track? This is a really good question. What we're going to do here is I'm going to go down here to my groups. This is my Pro Tools groups. I'm going to click all. Boom. Once I click all, what that means is everything is going to be grouped together. So if I grab it, everything's going to move around. I'm going to put it into slip mode. And I'm going to, let's go ahead and figure out where's our kick drum that we want to line it up here. Okay, right here. This is our kick drum. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to move it all the way over to this next bar here so it lines up with the bar. And I'm just going to drag it all the way over like that. Boom, like that. Boom. Wait, did it not move everything? Why didn't it move everything? Hold on. Why? There we go. I'm not sure why that just happened like that, but that seems like a glitch to me. Not everything's moving. Why is not everything moving? I feel like we're glitching right now. That's not that. I've never seen that happen before. So come on, y'all. Now is everything moving? Maybe. Okay, let's go over here. Okay. I guess they did play with a click track. Yeah, well, I wanted the guitar to move. I wanted everything to move, the whole thing. Everything needs to move, so... because I want the whole song to move over. I don't want just one thing to move, and
Back and forth in life and sea.
that's what was glitching.
This is how it used to be.
Awesome. Was that everything wasn't moving, and all means all. Like every single thing should move when you click all. So that's what was glitching. That's like we're gonna chalk that up to an M1 thing there. Awesome. So that seems like I got everything on my click track, which is good because if I want to add some MIDI stuff in, I want that to work like that. Let's listen to this.
Back and forth in life and sea. This is how it used to be. Always stay behind.
Okay, cool. Yep, good. Sounds good to me. We're gonna click on this one here and just hope everything moved with it just now. There we go. Yeah, it looks like it's all moving.
Back and forth in life and sea. This is how it used to be.
Cool. Okay.
Always.
Sounds like they did record with a click track actually, which is it's a really good lesson that you should always record with a click track because you never know when you're going to want to go back in and add some stuff at some other point in time. And if you didn't record with a click track, it really would complicate this whole thing a lot. Let's skip over here. The tempo on this one is 114.
Candles are lit, gone without a trace.
Yeah.
Bury my memories and crushed my pain.
Cool. Yeah, you can hear there's a drummer keeping time in the background.
I spit on your grave where you lay.
Wow, that's dark. Dark. Blue Lit Man, y'all are Blue Lit Moon, y'all are dark. All right. So, cool. The tempo is 114. It said that. How did I know that? Because I looked at the where'd they go? I know that because I looked at the notes that came with it over here in Blue Lit Man Dad is glad. Here, read me. I looked at that and it said tempo 114. It didn't tell me the key of the song, so we're gonna have to figure that out. But it did tell me the tempo, which is great because I would never have gotten that tempo. I mean, it would have taken a long time. Okay, so now we've got this. Now, let's go ahead and mute these tracks down. Let's make sure my all is turned off. I don't want it to be all anymore. Yep, all is turned off. Good, cool. Let's go ahead and mute the vocals. Boop. No more vocals. No more acoustic guitars for now. And our bass. Yeah, there are tempo apps, and I mean, I would have been able to figure it out, but a lot because it's not lined up with the tempo grid, like the audio file, so it would have been kind of weird. Cool. So I don't want to listen to my tempo anymore. I'm gonna go ahead and just put this like down here and let until later if I want to add some strings or something in, we'll do it. Okay, so now let's go back over here. I'm gonna pan some of these around. Oops, turn my drums off. Okay, do that one more time. And you can, if you've got headphones on right now, you can kind of hear how this is messing with the stereo on the drums. I'm keeping the drums, the toms in there because I want to have that frequency in there. Let's just get rid of our overhead for a second. And we're still going to hear everything. There's lots of bleed with everything. So I turn this down a little bit. Cool. That sounds good there. Now the kick drum. I don't want to get rid of the bleed because that extra sound is not bad, and I don't want it to cut in and out. But what I do want to do in here is I'm going to let's put some compression and some EQ on here. So let's go ahead and let's go to first of all, let's loop a part of the song that's got let's see here, back into grid mode, and we're going to loop a part of the song. Cool, we're gonna do this. We're gonna loop this part of the song right here. Awesome. Cool. All right, and we're gonna just go down here and we're gonna put in some, let's get this kick drum sounding nice. I don't have my UAD plugged in. I do have my Slate stuff, so we can look at Slate. Let's look at Slate down here. Slate, Slate, Slate. There you are, Slate. I haven't updated my Slate. They just released a new thing here. Let's just go down to our virtual mix rack, and let's grab a preset and just see what a preset sounds like. And when I'm trying stuff out, when I'm trying new things out, or I'm trying to learn about some stuff, yes, great. I always will go and just try out some presets. Let's go 1024. Okay, that should be fine. Okay, let's see how the computer likes, because I'm recording, I'm broadcasting, I'm doing all the things here. So it might not love it. Let's go down to drums and let's just go to, big rock kick. Let's try that out. All right, cool. Let's boost up that low frequency a bit more. I want more thump. There we go. There's some nice thump in there. Let's check out what these other ones will sound like. Let's see what this one sounds like here. Here, let's push this. Yeah, I kind of like that one a little bit better. Let's turn this into a bell here. Yeah. Put that back to 0. Nice, that sounds pretty good. Let's go over and, what is this? Revival. Cool. I actually don't use like these too much. I use some of the other things that come with the Slate a lot. Cool. Just listen, mess with this. Okay, cool. So got a nice, I mean that sounds pretty nice. It's like a little bit thumpy. Let's see. Do I have, okay, yeah, cool. Awesome. Sounding good there. Let's listen to our snare drum. Actually, I don't hate the sound of the snare, but let's drag this over. I'm going to hold down Option and drag this over. Let's use a snare preset. And again, when you're just kind of like learning this stuff, using the presets is fine. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Cool. Let's go to our overhead. And this is like a big difference between having like better plugins and less better plugins. Let's go to overheads. Tight vintage. That sounds like. Let's solo out our overheads. Now, also you'll be like, why is Tony using so many presets like this? Well, first of all, I'm showing you this, but also I don't mix rock music, like ever. I like this one. You can hear the highs a little bit more. Sound pretty good in there. I want that kind of. I want it to be kind of crisp, a little bit clean and crispy, like poppy sounding. So there we go. That sounds nice. I'm gonna leave these ones alone right here. Maybe what I'll do is I'll cut out some of the super low frequencies on these. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go in here to my EQ. I'm gonna put an EQ1 on here, and we're gonna cut out the low frequencies at 150. On these. I'm going to set this down to a 6 dB filter, and I'm just going to copy this across. And what that's going to do is going to suck out a lot of those low frequencies. So it's not, the low frequencies don't conflict with my bass later. Let's get that bass going now. Whoops. The other thing I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to turn this down here a little bit. And if I want to turn it back up, I'll just turn it up in my headphones. The reason why I'm turning it down is because I want to make sure my master fader here is not going overboard. See, that's what was happening before, is that the drum group at 0, 0 here, 0, it's clipping my master output. Now, we can't really hear it that well, but if we turn this down, we can see we're getting a better level here. And I really want this to be hitting with my drums around -10 or -8. There we go. Now, on the drum group as a whole, let's go ahead over to our drum group as a whole. And what I'm going to do on here is I'm going to put a bus compressor on here. Bus compressor, let's put a little bit of EQ, but let's go in here to our bus compressor. I'm going to use the one that, which one am I going to use? I would normally turn to my UAD stuff, but I don't have that plugged in right now. So let's go down here to, let's see, is the gray one? I don't think the gray one is the, no, it's not. I want to use the SSL bus compressor. I don't have the actual SSL bus compressor here. What we're going to do is let's use solid bus comp, or the one I want to use. Yeah, I think that's probably the one to use right now just because that's the one I've got access to. Solid bus comp here. Boom. This is from Native Instruments. And we're going to put this, let's put drum bus on here. Boom. Now you'll notice immediately it kind of pulls it together. It brings out the center a little bit more. Bypassed. There it is with nothing. It just kind of pulls everything together more. It just makes it sound more like a drum kit, how we're used to hearing a drum kit sound. You do not want, what you're looking for whenever you're using a preset for these, and I use presets all the time for these. I do know how to dial these in, but I've noticed, I mean, I've just used these for so long that I've noticed that the drum bus preset on here sounds great. It sounds fine. So what we're going to do here is I just want to show you the ones that you want to touch on here if you're using presets is you want to mess with your threshold and your makeup. I don't want this to go too hard on my compression. So I'm going to bring my threshold up a little bit. So we're just hitting that. We're not going above like 4 dB. Okay. And that's what you really want to look for when you're messing around with presets. You want to, for presets for compressors, you've got to mess with it. You can't just throw a preset on there and call it a day. You have to hit that threshold and you have to hit the makeup gain. And this sounds really good. Let's listen without it. Right? Hear how it just brings it out a bit more. It makes it louder, yes, but it's also compressing it down a little bit more. Nice. Okay. We're going to pull the overall volume down a little bit more because it brought us up a couple dB. There we go. Cool. Let's get our bass. Awesome. Now let's go in here. I'm going to just solo this out real quick, and let's put another... one of the reasons why I love these Slate plugins is because they do have the whole bundle here, which you can just throw everything on. Let's go ahead and use that mix rack again. Why not, right? And let's go down here to... let's see here. What do we got here? Classic strip. Let's try. Let's see. What do these do for us? I don't use these enough. I should use these more. Mix bus extreme. Let's do classic strip 1 bass guitar. Let's listen to that. Just by itself. Cool. And so what we want to do with this is mess around with this. Here, let's link the I/O. Unturn that off. Cool. Alright, I'm going to pull down the link them back up. Let's pull down the output just a little bit. Leave that alone here. Let's unlink. Cool. Nice. Now, that sounds pretty good. Let's try some different ones here. Ooh, that one's like a little bit warmer, deeper. I hope y'all can hear the difference in these. This one here, the first one, is more rattly. So if we want more of that kind of like rattle sound in there, that's pretty good. This one here. Here, let's play this one with the drums and see what happens. And it's really up to you, like, what kind of sound you want out of this. Let's go ahead this. Now, one thing we are going to do is we're going to side chain our kick into our bass here. The Slate plugins are great, and I told you they're like a subscription service, so you can get them, try them out, see if you like them, if you're using them. They're great, and they actually are not, they don't kill your CPU. Let's pull up my CPU meter over here, And system usage, yeah. Here, I'm just going to leave that up over here in the corner. So what we're going to do is we're going to sidechain compress these plugins, dynamics. Let's use the, I don't love the compressor that comes with Pro Tools, but let's go ahead and, should we use that? Ooh, let's use a Fab Filter. So I can show y'all Fab Filter. Yeah, let's do a Fab Filter. Over here, Fab Filter Pro C2. Boom. I'm absolutely in love with this. He's an interest. I haven't seen any of his videos. I don't know why they're not popping up on my YouTube. Oh, because I don't have ads on YouTube. Haha. That's why. That makes sense. I pay for my YouTube. Alright, so let's go over here to bus. Now what I'm going to do here is on my kick drum, I'm going to set the kick drum bus 1. There, boom. Turn it up to 0. I'm going to hit pre, so if I adjust my level, it doesn't affect this. I'm going to leave that alone. And then I'm going to go over here to Pro C2, and we're going to go in here, and we're going to go to our key input. We're going to set this to bus 1, boom. We could rename this. Let's rename this. Rename to sidechain comp, SC comp. And now this one here should also say sidechain comp. Yeah, it does. Oh, it doesn't. Wait, hold on. No, is that a glitch? That seems like it's probably a glitch. There we go. Boom. And now let's go down here to our settings. Let's go to, let's see here. Do they have a settings for this? Side does mid. Ooh, that's kind of cool. But we're gonna, all right, we're not gonna, there we go. Let's see. I may have bit off more than I can chew here with this because I'm not sure I know how to use the side chain. I think I do. I actually don't use this one so much. I mean, I just got it not that long ago. So let's set this up. There we go. Yeah. Now you can hear it's compressing that a lot. Let's turn it, just so you can hear it a lot. Let's solo these out. Huh. You do need the Fab Filter plugins at school. Absolutely. Alright, cool. So, let's, the ratio of 4:1 is fine. If we turn up the ratio, hear how much it's making that pop? It's crazy, right? So we leave that at 4. If we want this to speed up, oh, you know what might be happening? It might be, I'm gonna put this back up. Cool, there we go. Nice. So you hear what's happening. You see what's happening is it's actually, it's dipping that bass down. So the bass is not interfering with the kick drum here. We may also want to sidechain it into the snare drum as well. Just so we get that snare drum out of the way as well. There we go. That's better. Now we can hear the bass smooth, but we can also hear those drums. Yeah, that sounds really cool. There we go. Nice. And if you want to adjust these levels of things, you can mess around with these. So there's no side chain on the bass, or very little. There's like too much. Cool. All right. Awesome. That sounds pretty good there. All right. So now let's go ahead and take a look at these guitars, shall we? Well, let's listen to some other parts of the bass over here. Let's go back over here. Boom. We might have to do something with this bass while the person's like singing and playing.
Some people say I wear
All
my
right,
heart.
that sounds pretty good though, actually. So we're gonna leave that alone for now. We might put some automation stuff back in here later. Let's see though. I'm gonna go ahead and deal with the mix overall first, and then we'll go back and mess with automation and stuff like that. Now, I know for a fact that these vocals are gonna give us problems right here, so we're gonna come back to that. But in the meantime, before we get to that, let's just mute our vocal group again. And let's take a look at these guitars. Let's first of all, what the heck is this first guitar doing? Oh, I see what that first guitar doing. It's a reverse guitar. What? Okay. Oh, and it says that, reverse guitar. So let's just call this one AC guitar rev. Boom. There we go. Now I can see exactly what it is. What is up, Jonte? How you doing? You are very, very late. Why are you so late? Why are you so late, buddy? All right. We're learning some really good stuff today, and you're sleeping. Let's go over here to this. We're going to call you an hour late. There we go. Boom. Cool. All right. So, this here, we're going to come back to that. I'm going to call this here, we're going to go here to boom, to this. And we're going to call that one top, or, instrument, I guess. This here, the top is going to be right here. Let's turn my thing off here. Go in here like this. Turn you down. Cool. Put a marker in, call this one top. There we go. That's for later when I'm like bouncing stuff down. There we go. Here's the instrument. Now let's listen to that acoustic guitar and see what the acoustic guitar is doing. So, let's go over here to our chorus. There's our pre-chorus. There's our chorus 1. Okay, cool. Okay. And what's this guitar doing here? Let's listen to this real quick. Solo that guitar. Get in here. So this guitar is pretty different from this guitar over here. Also, I don't want these to be grouped. I'm gonna delete that group. Right click on it, delete the group, because they're not connected together. They're just called the same thing, but they're not actually. I don't want, get out of here. Yeah, so this, I want like a different sound on this from when we get over here. Okay, so I'm going to separate this out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in on this. And the reason why I'm about to separate this out is because I want to actually have a very different type of effect going on there than what I want in the rest of the song. So, let's go ahead. Okay, let's go into here. Let's just listen to the vocals for a second. Okay, cool. So that... Yep, cool. So we're going to go to here, boom, cut that right there. And so I'm not going to do the whole song, I don't think. What we're going to do here is we're going to duplicate this out. Right click, duplicate. And I'm going to get rid of this one here. I'm going to get rid of this stuff over here. So that way when we get to this, we can have like a different kind of effect going on. Maybe connected, maybe related, but still maybe a little bit different. All right? And then let's go back over here to this. We have a pre-chorus in here. Let's listen. Oh, we can't hear it because... Oh, I've got this soloed. Hold on a second. Let's unsolo this. And then let's mute the drums and the bass.
My body's so cold now.
Ouch, ouch, you, what is going on? Stop it, stop it. Get our vocals. Okay, there we go. And I'm just gonna turn these down because that's like ridiculous. I Oh, I don't have this. Okay, there we go. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. Okay.
My body's so cold, now I'm letting go. This time everyone will know.
Okay, so this here is like a little lead in. Okay, cool. So this is actually the chorus here. C2, boom. And this is what happens when you don't know the song, really. You have to kind of search around for stuff. So let's have something happen on this. Let's think about that. We'll come back to that there. For now, I'm using tab to transient to kill the to cut it right there as well. So just if y'all didn't know, if you were like, what's tab to transient? Tab to transient is this right over here, right up there. That's tab to transient. You always leave that on. Let's go over here to this C1, and let's see.
My own plans.
Let's go to this, and let's put this one back up here. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. All right, and we'll see what we do with that. We may actually have like a transitionary thing going on. I'm not really sure. Let's mess around with it a little bit, and then we'll come back over here to our magical part.
This is how I choose to be.
Cool. We may have like a transition part coming out of there as well. Let's just see what happens. We can mess around with it and see. But in the meantime, we'll kill that. Awesome. We'll come back over here. And I'm not going to do this last part here just because of timing constraints. But y'all get the idea, right? So now, let's go in here. Let's mute out our vocals again because let's focus on these guitars. Now, let's play around with this guitar here. Let's listen to this guitar. And actually, you know what I'm going to do since we're here? I'm going to actually cut this out now because we can do that on something else. We're going to put that on its own track as well, just for now. I don't know if other people do stuff like this much, but I definitely... Where are we? Duplicate. There we go. Boom. I like to keep my stuff separated out. We'll see what happens with this. I may like use the same effects on them and just like do some automation or something like that. We're going to call this one AC Guitar Pre-Chorus. It's like a lead-in. This one is AC Guitar Verse. And this down here is AC Guitar Chorus. Boom. Cool. And so we got that there. Good. I hope y'all are all kind of following along and I hope this is kind of making sense to it, to y'all. And the same thing over here. Whoops. Let's do the same thing over here. Cool. And of course, I have like free reign of this because the singer is not here with me. But if I was working with the singer on this, I'd have to like pay attention to him and hear what he wants to say and like, you know, what's your vibe on this band. But I don't have to worry about that because the band is not here. So, all right. So I can get as weird and wild as I want to, which I like to do. All right, so let's listen to this part in here. Okay, cool. So we have this. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make, and this is like, I'm going to go a little bit fast. I am recording this, so you can check this out later. What we're going to do is we're going to make a nice little chorusy sound with some like delays and stuff out to tickle our ears and make it so it's not cluttering things up, but it is making it sound kind of cool. So I'm going to make myself a couple of stereo aux inputs. Let's make 3 for now and see what happens. And these, I'm going to keep these colored basically the same. Not exactly the same. And these are all going to be for my acoustic guitar right here, so I'm not going to name them right now. Let's go ahead and on this one, let's put like a little delay. Let's use... let's use Echo Boy. Echo boy. Okay, so cool. So we got this. It should be set to 1/14. Great. And let's use eighth notes, and we're gonna use a mix. Is gonna be wet because we're sending it over there. And let's send this here from here. Go to the track that we just made. Aux 1. Let's give it a name. AC guitar delay. Like that. Boom. And here we're gonna go send to that AC guitar delay. See where I'm saying track. Notice I'm not touching my buses and stuff like that. Because I'm making the track, I know what I want to do. Let's listen. Alright, cut that there. Now if I want to send less over to it. Nice. Let's check out what happens. I'm not sure that I want the ping pong here. Let's go over here to style edit and see what this will do for us. I want... So diffusion here is going to give it kind of a reverby type of sound. It's not really what I want, so you go off. Dual echo, that's probably what I want. Yeah. You hear how that's nice out to the sides there? Make this nice and wide here. Cool. Let's turn this up a little bit more, just so we can hear it. Feed it in there like a lot. So what I'm listening for is I'm just listening for that delay. Let's put this back here. Okay. Let's drag a little bit. Put that back in the middle. Okay. So this is sounding pretty cool. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. But we're not done with the magic yet. We're not done with the magic. Now we're gonna go over here and we're gonna use a reverb for this to give it more. And I'm doing this on the guitar itself. AC guitar reverb. And on this for the reverb, let's use RC24 or a plate. I'd use this RC24. This is an emulation of a lexicon. Now we're gonna take this over here. We named it, give it a name. We're gonna stop that for just a second. Go back to track. Send it over to that AC guitar reverb. Boom. Cool. Let's turn this up. Now, the other thing we're going to do, and this is kind of like a magic place, is we're going to send over the Echo Boy delay to the reverb as well. Make sure we solo save these. There we go. Now let's listen real quick. Now, one thing to keep in mind is when you're listening to like when you're listening to presets and stuff like that, don't worry about what the name is exactly. I mean, it's definitely like, oh, they made it kind of with that in mind, but you know, it could be, you could find some really cool stuff in there. So. Okay, interesting. You hear that just giving like a little bit more of a thing on the sides. Let's go back to small here. Let's listen to it with our bass. Cool. Okay. Alright, so that's sounding pretty good. I also want to make it like a little bit wider though on a chorus type of thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep all these here, but I'm going to call this one AC Guitar Chorus. Core. And, oh, that's already named. AC guitar ensemble. And on here, let's put in a Native Instruments chorus thing. But what is it? It's kind of cool. I haven't really used it for something like this yet. Choral. Here we go. Let's see what this sounds like. Choral synth. Oh, let's see what that sounds like. Let's see what this can do for our guitar. Now this one here, we are also going to send over to our reverb. So I'm going to drag this on over like that. And the mix is up to 100. That's what we want. Boom, ba-doom, 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 ba-doom. Okay, so now we're gonna take this and we're gonna send it over to that track we just made. Sorry, we're gonna take a break a little bit. I kind of want to go through this before we kind of break it up here. Boom. Go over here like this. Boom. Let's see. Let's hear what this sounds like. Go to spaces. Hear what this sounds like. That's cool, but it's too weird. Okay, there's our stereo widener. Now, if you want this to even get more wide, we can start to do stuff like this. Let's go over here to our slow Leslie, our fast Leslie, and we can pan this all the way, and we could like duplicate this. And now this one here, they're both got the same bus on them, so it's going both on the same, but I'm going to pan this one left and this one right. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this one of them, a little bit of a different rate. So 5.66. Just change that down like a little bit. Boop, like that. And now... and that's going to change things a little bit. Should. We can make some changes to these. Go. That kind of thickens stuff up here. You know, and then what happens with this is if you are going to do something like this, and we're going to try out some different ones here in a second, what I would also do if I'm going to do them left and right like this is I would actually subgroup these as well. All right, and this is where things start to get really, you know, really you're kind of like getting in there. You know, you're getting in deep with this stuff. And you hear how much we're thickening up that guitar? Okay, let's try a different chorus. This one's okay, but here, I'm going to go ahead and deactivate that. Let's see, what do we got in here under our modulations? What do we got? What do we got? We got phases, we got Ovox. Ooh, Ovox, huh? Is that... that's like a totally weird thing. Ooh, I love my Tal chorus. Vibe phaser, that might be interesting. I do love this one. Here, let's put that on both of these. Set them to... dry wet all the way up. Yeah, you hear how wide that is? That's really cool sounding. I like that actually a lot more. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these, we're going to subgroup these together. Remember our little trick, highlight them, Option Shift, new track, boom. We're going to call this one AC Guitar Ensemble Group. The names are getting long, that's okay. And we're going to take these, let's color code them. And as I go, I always do this kind of stuff. I always color code just to make sure we're staying on top. Details win Grammys. Yes, they do. Now, I don't need this like that. I can put that right there and then get rid of this one here because everything's going through this. Boom, boom, boom. We're going over to our this here. Let's... Now I have control over that sound. You know, I have control over that sound. And if we wanted to make this even wider out to the sides, let's see, sound field. Air stereo with center 1. I have a few effects for this. What is this? Haas. Ooh. Oh, wow. That puts it way out to the side. Oh my goodness. Yeah, cool. I've never used that one before. That comes with the kilohertz stuff. Okay, and that's really filling out. You hear how much wide how that's filling out the sound? Cool. Okay. Great. Nice. Let's hear the vocal here. Sounds good, right? Yeah, if you've got headphones on, you can really hear it. Now let's work on this vocal a little bit because we got the verse. Alright, so let's go over here to our... Oh, actually one more thing with this acoustic guitar though, because we don't want anything to pop out too much. So let's throw a compressor on here and a EQ. I'm not going to use a channel strip. I can use a channel strip. Let's do this. Let's use a channel strip and let's also do it by hand. So what I'm going to do here with this is I'm going to take out some of the low frequency. I probably should have done this first, actually. Just kidding. Ha ha ha, with all that stuff before, right? So I got this here. Let's put a little bit of let's put some dynamics on here. Which the gray compressor from Slate is a good one. Oh yeah. If you've got monitors, if you got like a nice little studio thing going on, then you're gonna be good for this. All this. When I say headphones, I basically just mean a good place to listen to if you got like a studio that you're kind of messing around with. Okay, so let's go down here to the red. This one is a... Yeah. Here we go, Slate Digital. Let's just hear what this sounds like. Let's put the glue on here. We got the drive here, and we don't really want to hit it too much. Like, you know, we can turn this threshold way up. We just want to make sure that we're, like, killing any spikes. The drive on this one's really nice. Kind of, like, thickens that up. Here, let's solo this out. Whoops. All these are solo safe, so when I solo it, because I don't want to hear the effects on it real quick. There we go. Yeah. There we go, cool. And if we turn the drive down... Let's get a little bit more body in there. Let's try this other one. Hold on 1 second. Let's go back to the Slate plugins and go to the gray. The MU one. There we go. Let's grab this one here. This one, is this the one? No, it's the other one. Yeah, that one is the one we just had, is the one we want for sure. This one here is the... I think it's based on the Focusrite plugins, and the drive in there is really what we want. Get that glue going on. Boom. Turn the threshold up a little bit so we're just hitting some of those. Because it's pretty low, it's pretty soft on this. Now, what we want to do with this here is let's get some EQ. And like, I want... Like, I like the high frequencies, but I want some of those, like, mid frequencies as well. Huh. I like the CQ from Sound Toys. Let's see what we can do here. Yeah. And you can hear if we so you can hear that, like, the differences here. I like it also because it has like a little bit of noise in it. That's kind of cool. Now we've already cut out some of those low frequencies, so just a little bit there. So we can actually add some low frequencies in here a little bit. Come on, Pro Tools, stop pinwheeling me to death. Right? A little bit of drive there. We pull that off. You hear how much we're killing that high there. There we go. So we have these. Let's turn these back on. Now let's also do this. This is a weird thing here, but let's put a De-Esser on here to kill some of those finger slides and stuff like that. This is a really cool trick. I'm going to use my my favorite De-Esser in the whole wide world, which is the Waves De-Esser. And let's go in here, and is there a preset for this? I doubt it. But there might be. Hold on, let's see. Hook DS. Yeah, okay. So we're just going to put this in at a shh sound here and pull this down. So those high frequencies don't pop through too much, and like the finger slides don't come through too much. But we only want it to happen sometimes. There we go. Hear that? How it's like popping that one down? It's not compressing here at all, but when he slides the fingers, it's going to compress that. See that? Nice. So now that slide's not going to come through too hard. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, it's a cool trick. Yeah, it's important to remember that De-Essers are not just for vocals. And people are starting to use them for, like, mastering engineers and stuff are starting to use them more and more on, like, the whole master track as well. All right, cool. So we got all this sounding pretty good. Now let's kill our instruments here for a second and let's listen to our vocals. Let's mess with the vocals here. So I'm gonna go down here to this stuff here. We're gonna loop this part here. Oh, these are not going to our, hold on. Let's get all these going to our our instrument group. There we go. Boom. Cool. Yeah, there we go.
Some people say I wear my heart on my sleeve.
Okay, here we go. Here's this.
But that's okay.
Now, what we're gonna do here is let's talk a little bit about, let's kill this one here. Our effects here. Let's go ahead and talk about our effects subgroup here, which we talked about it briefly the other day, but let's like kind of dive in a little bit more here on this vocal. Where are we? The daily notes, inserts, plugins. Here we go. This one here. So this for our vocals. Is it here or is it no? It's in Acoustic audio, automation plugins, audio suite. Is it this one? Routing. Oh goodness, I don't remember. Oh, it's down here. Here we go. Effects chain. This one, pitch correction, or maybe this one. Yeah, here we go. So our vocal effect chain. Here we go. This one here. This is a good effect chain for your vocals. EQ into the De-Esser, into the compressor, into another EQ. Now, before we start doing that, let's go over here to, oops, put that back there. go back over to Pro Tools here, and let's just see what that looks like. So we're going to go in here to our lead vocal here. We're going to go to an EQ, and we're going to go to a one band here. Boom. Kill out the low frequencies. And we could start at around 100 hertz just to make sure. Keep that at 12 dB, so it's a nice cut there. And we really can just copy and paste this over to all the vocals here, like that. Next, we're going to put a little compression on here. Now for compressor, I don't actually have the compressor here that I love to use on my vocals. Love. But because I don't have my UAD plugged in right now. So let's go over here to, and that would be the Teletronics LA2A. The LA2, this one here, the UAD Teletronics LA2 or LA2A. These here are awesome. Do I have? Oh, I do have one. Here we go. Boom, 2A down here. I forgot that Native Instruments makes one. Cool. So this one here, the reason why I like this so much is because you can do a lot of compression on it without hearing the compression. So what we're going to do is we're going to put on the peak reduction is how much compression, and then our makeup gain is over here afterwards. So
some people say I wear my heart on my sleeve.
There we go. Put that there.
But that's okay, you really don't know me.
Okay, cool. There we go.
I drove through life with no given chance.
Let's go over here to EQ.
Some people say I wear my heart on my sleeve.
And then,
but that's okay, you really don't know me.
now we're keeping everything mono. There are some things that say mono stereo. We don't need to worry about those.
I drove through life with no given chance.
Now, one thing you have to think about if you are using presets for stuff, or you're kind of messing around with things with presets, be careful, because a lot of the presets I find they kind of push the highs too much. So you want to make sure you're not pushing those highs too much, and you also want to make sure you're not pulling too much of the low frequencies out.
Some people say I wear my heart on my sleeve.
This is not a bad recording, so I don't really want to pull these low frequencies out at all.
But that's okay, you really don't know me.
Hear that different frequency in there, right? We don't want that necessarily, but we don't need to pull it out because it's not it's not a bad recording on the vocal. Now let's go over here to our vocals, and let's put a reverb on the vocals. Let's get a plate reverb. Now, plate reverbs for vocals is pretty standard stuff. I'm going to go ahead. All these vocals are going to go into the same... they're all going to go into the same reverb, and we're going to use a plate here. Which plate? Let's go here to search. Let's search to see what all plates we have access to. We got little plate. We got lustrous plates. We got Rev plate 140. That's from Arturia. UAD pure plate, long plate, short plate. I don't know what all these are from. Let's use the little plate from Sound Toys. And pull this one in. Let's see if there's any. Here we go. Some vocal stuff, and let's send it over there to that plate, to the track, a vocal reverb. There we go, boom. And turn this up. Let's hear what this sounds like. First of all, I'm going to solo safe this. I'm going to send it into my vocal group. There we are, boom.
Some people say I wear my heart on my sleeve.
Sounds nice. Too much, but it sounds nice.
But that's okay, you really don't know me.
Okay, now one thing to keep in mind, please, is that I have headphones on, so it's really hard for me to hear the proper level of a lot of these things, and especially reverbs. I find that reverbs, I end up not hearing reverbs very well when I'm using headphones to mix with, so it's not great. Now we've got, I think that's a pretty decent vocal sound. Let's go ahead and listen to it. Here we go, there we go.
Some people say I wear my heart on my sleeve.
Yeah.
But But that's okay, you really don't know me.
Awesome, sounds good. Let's listen to it from the top here. Now what I'm listening for here is to hear if we can hear when the guitar comes in out with that vocal, because they've got it cut down here. They've got like, this is clean, completely clean silence right here. So let's hear what happens when the vocal comes in, if we can hear the guitar come in.
Some people say I wear my heart on my sleeve.
No.
But that's okay, you really don't know me.
I think it sounds pretty good here.
I drove through life with no given chance. I live my life, I make my own plans.
Cool, awesome. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull these over onto these here, all of them, and you can hear how much work that, yes, you can hear how much work that Compressor just did when he got super, super loud. Joel says, did you just send the lead vocal to the reverb and then send the reverb to the vocal group? Yes, I did. The reason why is because I want this vocal to be playing with the vocal group. I mean, it's part of the vocals, right? This reverb, sorry, did I say vocal? I meant reverb. The reverb here is part of my vocals. It's like a piece of that. So I want to have this in here with my vocals here. So
some people say I wear my heart on my sleeve.
Now these ones here, these kind of extra ones, let's go ahead and take these, and I'm going to do something I don't usually do. Oh, am I going to do it like that? Yeah, let's do it like that. I don't usually do it like this. What we're going to do is we're going to actually take these and spread them out to the sides. Let's see how we're going to do that. Stereo, sound field, effect racks, micro shift. Yes! Why not have all the vocals in one group and then send them to the reverb? Because I want different amounts of reverb on these different vocals. That is why. Micro shift is, oh, little micro shift? That's not the one I want. Micro shift is one of my favorite plugins of all times. Micro shift. There we go. One of my favorite plugins of all times. I freaking love this thing. I've been using this like forever and ever and ever. We're gonna keep the dry wet here, down around here. We might adjust that, but this is gonna be really good for sitting out to the sides like that. I should have used it. I forgot about it. I should have used it on my guitar. You know what? It's not too late. Ha 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 ha. Boom. Let's see what that does. But let's turn this down here and let's put the focus up here. Come.
Some people say I wear my heart on my sleeve.
Let's put that back. Hold on. Let's listen to this acoustic guitar. Hold on. Let's just listen to this. I think it's too much because we have that we have all that other stuff going on, so we're gonna bypass. We're not gonna put it on there. Ooh, but yeah, okay. I love that. I love this thing. Sorry. Okay, let's go back over here. Now let's listen to this. I'm gonna go ahead and hit go right here, and I'm going to go with these. I'm gonna pull the high frequencies out. Low pass filter. We're gonna put a low pass filter here, a pretty steep one, because I want this being in the background.
I drove through life with no given chance.
Yeah, cool.
I drove through.
Now let's go over here, the vocal reverb, and let's turn it up here, because I want it to be back in the background.
I drove through life with no given chance.
Okay, now you hear how we can make it sound like it's further away by doing this. So I turned the reverb up. Here's what I did. I turned that reverb up. I put the volume down, but I also shaved a lot off the high frequencies here.
I drove through life with no given chance.
Awesome. Put this down here. Let's put some delays on here.
I drove through life with no given chance.
Cool. Give it some depth. Can you click more of these at the same time? Nope. Okay.
I drove through life with no given chance.
Awesome.
I live my life, I make my own plans.
Awesome. Now this one here, we're gonna do a similar thing. We're not gonna cut as much off. Send over to the reverb, same thing, boom. Let's hear what that sounds like.
I live my life, I make my own plans.
And over here, since it's like, it's basically he's just doubling himself up. So we're gonna detune, we're gonna delay.
I live my life, I make my own plans.
There we go. You hear how much that put it out to the side? Check it out, let's do it one more time.
I live my life, I make my own plans.
Awesome, sounds great. Cool, okay. So now we're getting somewhere. Let's listen to that real quick. Let's just listen to what we got up to the top there and just enjoy it. Wait, hold on a second. This one here, before we start doing that, let's put this over here. Acoustic guitar, boom. Okay, so we got that there. And let's copy all these over so we have a starting point. And we might do something with it. We might not do anything with it. We're just going to copy all this stuff over here. Boom, boom, boom. Send it over the same way. So it should, in theory, sound exactly the same. There we go. And let's also just check out our system usage, see what we're doing here with our system usage. All right, so let's listen.
Some people say I wear my heart on my sleeve, but that's okay, you really don't know me. I drove through life with no given chance. I live my life, I make my own plans.
Cool. All right, great. Now, the drums are not really loud enough now. These things have kind of come up in volume, but we can fix that later because everything is going into our guitar group here. Wait, not everything. Hold on. These ones here go into the guitar group. Go into the AC guitar group. There we go. Boom. So everything is going into our acoustic guitar group, which actually may... What is this? Oh, it's our chorus. Okay. It's good intent to send choruses and verses, chorus and verse to the same aux. I mean, yeah, it kind of depends on what's going on because as you can see, I split up my guitar. So I've got my guitar chorus here doing a different thing because we're going to mess around with that. But I don't know how much we're going to mess around with it. We may actually end up basically just doing the same thing with it. We're kind of, this is a little bit, kind of messing around with stuff. But it really, if you're talking about like on your vocals and stuff like that, choruses and verses to the same aux, eventually you do want to end up here because I've got my vocal group here. That way I can adjust my vocals and my instruments all together. But my backing vocals here are going to a different place. But also with this here, I may actually separate this out with this chorus here. We'll see. We're kind of getting to there right now. It depends on how you've recorded stuff. It depends on what you've done. But eventually you do want things to end up at the same aux. But you might go through a couple of other auxes to get there. I think. I don't know. Also, take all this, everything I'm doing. I taught myself how to mix. And I don't consider myself a mix engineer. I just kind of go with what sounds good. And I've these things that we're showing you, they work really well, and I've been using them for years, and people like my mixes, but I don't mix other people's stuff. I'm not a mix engineer. So some people might look at this and be like, weird. I mean, I have worked with enough people that I know that that's not really the case. but there is a certain amount of what's the word? I don't know, like possibly different from how other people do this. And I think it's good to get some it's good to see how other people do it as well. So, you might look at other people mixing and they might do things a little bit differently from how I do it, is what I'm saying. Okay, so over here, we are going to take this acoustic guitar chorus. Let's put this over here so we just have everything next to each other. And first of all, let's start from the same starting point with these. I might want this to have a little bit more of these things on it, like a little bit more delay, a little bit more of the ensemble, possibly. So we might actually kick this ensemble here up. We might do some automation on that to make it a little bit louder. The other thing I might want from this is maybe a little bit of a growl from this to make it, sound like... Because we got the drums that come in, so that's going to cover up some of these high frequencies a little bit more. So let's do this. Let's go down here to this here. Let's add a little bit of distortion into it. Not distortion exactly, but some saturation. And what is... Ooh, you know what I want to use for this? Let's see what this does. I've never actually done what I'm about to do right now. But let's try it. Let's go down here and grab outputs, thermal. Yes, nope, you're right. There is one. I just don't have it turned on right now. I'm not showing it. Thermal. Is thermal? Thermal. I don't know where you live, thermal, but there you are, thermal. Now, I'm not. Oh, you know what we should probably do? Actually, you know what? Hold on a second. Let's back this up here for a second. Back it up. Back it up. Let's put this on a aux input. AC guitar saturation. And you'll notice how I'm labeling all of these things. Like, it's really important that you keep things labeled as I go, as I add new stuff in. I'm color coding things for the most part, except for this drum group for some reason. It's really important that you keep things organized. And same thing with my reverb. Why? Come on. I didn't organize these very well, though, did I? Nope. There we go. Boom. Let's make these a slightly different color. Cool. And then the instrument group should be its own color as well, because it's too much like make it blue. Cool. All right. So the vocal group is this kind of greenish color. Yeah. All right, there we go. Now we're more organized. Okay. So Joel says, for some reason I thought that, yeah. So you can, that's over here under view, mix, expanded sends. And so I can have little faders under them if I want to. I'm not used to looking at Pro Tools like that. You can choose just all of them or none of them or whatever. I'm not used to looking at Pro Tools like that, so I don't do it. But yeah, you can totally do that. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to keep this the same, but we're going to have this go to our saturation track. And you might be sitting there going, wait, couldn't you just do basically everything you've done so far? Couldn't you just do this with automation? And the answer is absolutely yes. I could have done this all with automation, but we're doing it like this. Everybody calm down. Okay, so we're going to put thermal on here. I don't know where thermal lives, so we're just going to put it thermal. There we go. Boom. Now, you may have noticed I put thermal right here in the middle of everything, and the reason why I did that was because I don't know what plugins I'm going to put before or after it. I may want to put more plugins or after it. Go ahead and ask your next question, Joel. I'm going to listen to this real quick. Here, boom, boom, boom. Soloed this out. listen to this. I'm gonna flip through some presets here. Let's see, what do we got in here? What do we got? We got drums, bass, vocals, ooh, guitar and keys. Let's hear. Let's listen. Ooh, let's listen. Now, what you may notice is it's not really hitting this that hard. We're not getting as much of a fuzz or a buzz sound out of it that I want. Our inputs are all the way up and everything. So what we need to do is I'm going to add a gain stage here on the front of this. Let's do this in an interesting way. I could do it like this. I could just go over here and grab other and go down and grab, we need multi-mono. Wait, do we? Why do I need? Oh, interesting. It's, huh. Oh, because I made it stereo, right? That's why. Okay. So we could go down here and grab multi-mono and grab trim and just jack our trim up, just crank it up. And that's going to give us some nice input onto the thermal there, which is going to hit it harder. Let's listen to that. So now, right, we're getting that there. Hear how that's happening. Let's go ahead and throw that over to the reverb. Cool. Another way we could do this, which might be interesting, is put a tape plugin on here. Now, the only tape plugin I've got right now is the Slate stuff. I really love Oxide, but let's use a tape plugin here. Let's use this virtual tape machine. And what we're going to do is we're going to crank it up to kind of get that. Here, let's turn this off right here. And now we're hitting the input of this really hard. Let's just go through some of these. Sounds pretty cool, actually. So let's go back here and listen. Come on. So there it is with just the acoustic guitar just doing its thing. Back and forth in life. And let's add some body in there. That's basically what we just did. We just added some body in here. Back and forth in life, it seems. This is how it used to be. Always stay behind the scenes. This is how I choose to be. I sit in a corner of this room. Sounds pretty cool. Now let's do this. Let's take this one over here and let's ramp it up into here. And again, I could have done all this with just automation stuff. So maybe we will go back and do it with automation and kind of take out some of these things here. But I'd like to do, I don't know, I like to have things separated out so I can see them. That's me. Okay, so this one here, this level, let's put the level down. I'm going to go ahead and get to my end point here and this one here. Boop. Oh, come on. So sick of Pro Tools like pausing on me like that. There we go. Come down over here. Okay, cool. So let's listen. If I make my own plans, back and forth in life it seems. Let's give it a little bit of a boost as well on the automation. Now I'm going to do this a slightly different way. We're going to do that using the trim plugin. I don't like to do my volume automation on the track itself. So this one's like -5, this one's -8. So we're gonna just do a 3 dB push on here. We're gonna go over here, grab this one here, enable that one to gain. The reason why is because I don't want my faders flying around. I don't like it when my faders fly around like that. So the gain here, boom, come on, zoom in, and let's just do this, boop, boop. Let's do a 3 dB push, 3, like that, cool. How do I know it's 3 dB? Is because this chorus here is 3 dB louder than this, basically. It's basically 3 dB. So we're gonna do in here.
I live my life, I make my own plans. Back and forth.
Awesome, sounding good. And what else did we do? There's a slightly different sound going on. I pushed it harder to these things, didn't I? Nope. The reverb? Nope. Did I push? I thought I pushed it harder to some of these. Oh yeah, to the. Oh okay, I did. I pushed it harder to that as well. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna ramp that up also. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. Bring it back. So you notice how I'm pushing to 0. There we go. Cool. And these things here, I can actually copy and paste them over to here as well. So like I just go over here, let's put this back into grid mode. Like that, boom, boom. All these changes I'm making, see how they turn orange like that? There we go, and let's do this trim as well. Go through and copy and paste it over. Boom, boom, boom. Start a little sooner with the gain. It should be. I don't think we're gonna notice it. I don't think it's gonna. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna come through. Okay, cool. So we got this.
Given chance. I live my life. I make my own plans. Back and forth in life it seems. This is how it used to be. Always stay behind the scenes. This is how I choose to be.
Okay, cool. This sounds good. The drums need a little bit. I want a little bit more high end on the drums in general. Let's use the AirQ Premium. That one. Wait, is that the one I want to use? Let's see. This is the one that comes with Slate, I think. No, this is not. Hold on, this is not what I wanted. Let's go down to this. It's not under Slate though. So there's a bunch of stuff that comes with Slate stuff that's not actually in this. It's not like down here, is it? Oh, Fresh Air. Yeah, it is down here. Haha, just kidding. Ha 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 ha. And let's use this on. Do they have a Clap Presence Shiny Mix Bush Polish? Let's put that up. Let's see.
Given chance. I live my life. I make my own plans. Back and forth in life it seems. This is how it used to be. Always stay behind the scenes. This is how I choose to be.
Cool.
I sit in a corner of this room.
I don't love the sound. I don't love the sound of that kick drum. It's too like bap 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 for me. We used this for that. So let's go ahead and now I can pull up my. This is a time when I would definitely want to have my windows open here, and I go to my memory locations. Where are they? Memory locations. There we are. And make sure that I can see stuff because I want to go to my chorus.
Forth in life it seems.
I just want to hear my drums. Like, I don't love the sound of that kick drum. Let's hear what's going on here. It's like a very, I don't know, I want like a thumpier kick. I would probably maybe replace that kick drum. I just don't love the sound of it. Let's try different. Let's try different. Here, big room mics. No, there's not one in here. Whatever.
Back and forth in life, it seems. This is how it used to be. Always stay behind the scenes.
Cool.
This is how I choose to be. I sit in a corner of this room. Heart filled with shame. What did I do? I sit in a corner of this room.
Cool. All right. Got that there. Let's go to verse 2. Boom. There's our verse 1. And we should probably move this one over. There we go. While he's sitting in this corner. Let's go back here to our instruments.
I sit in a corner of this room.
Sweet.
Heart filled with shame. What did I do? My body's so cold, now I'm letting go. This time everyone will know. Back and forth in life, it seems.
Cool.
This is how it used to be. Always stay behind the scenes.
Awesome. Okay, so we're kind of pushing the master here a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put a bus compressor on it, and then we're gonna call it a day for now. I do want to add some like some instruments and stuff. We'll do that on Wednesday. Solid bus comp. Also, I am starving. Mix glue. Mix bus. Yeah, here we'll call this one here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna mess with the threshold and the makeup. We're gonna put the makeup back to 0. I don't want that makeup on anything. And let's grab our memory locations. If I had a keyboard that had like a numeric keypad on it, I would use that for that. Cool.
Back and forth in life, it seems. This is how it used to be.
Great. And again, I don't want this doing a whole lot. I don't want it going down to 4 or whatever. Past 4, really.
Back and forth in life, it seems. This is how it used to be. Always stay behind the scenes. This is how I choose to be.
Cool. Great.
I sit in a corner of...
Now you'll notice I'm not putting a brick wall limiter on this. We should not put a brick wall limiter on our master out unless you're like making like a demo bounce or something like that, because you want to mix it and everything and get it as smooth and as amazing as possible, sounding without using the like a brick wall limiter as a crutch. Like if you can get your mix sounding really good without a brick wall limiter, then you know you're mixing right. Have I used a brick wall limiter as a crutch in the past? Absolutely, but as I've become a better mix engineer, I've had to use it less and less and less. So this solid bus compressor here is just gonna pull it together. It's based on an SSL compressor, and again, if I had my UAD stuff, I'd be using that more. But I don't. There's like I'm missing things. I don't know where they are. Hard pieces of hardware. Oh, I know where it is. So I'm just gonna use this one here for that to put that in there. So that's what that is for, and that's just kind of to tame it down, but also kind of pull the overall mix together. Okay, so we have spent about 2 hours working on this mix. You can see a lot of things that I put in here. I did not use the Pro Tools plugins. I used some Pro Tools plugins, but I used real plugins, how I would do a real mix. So y'all can see really what you can do with something when you get like these real plugins. A lot of plugins I used were the Slate plugins, things that come with Slate plugins. Yeah, has it been 2? I know, right? It has been 2 hours. So a lot of those plugins actually come with that Slate package. So that's not a bad package to get your hands on and use. Yeah. But I think it sounds pretty good. Now what I want to do on another day, on Wednesday when we're back on Twitch, is we're going to put MIDI and stuff in there. I'm going to put some keyboards and synthesizers in there as well. Let's see, what does Joel says? Joel says, okay, so my question is, can you use the fader under the sends to control how much reverb you're getting into a vocal? If you send from the reverb into the vocal, then control the send on the reverb to determine how much reverb is going to the vocal? Yeah. The answer is yes, Joel. My other answer to that would be try it. Try it. Because remember, every step of the way where you're hearing things and everything, every step of the way changes how we hear the sound. So, cool. The 2 hours did fly by. Yeah. So, but let's talk more about that. We could talk more about that in class tomorrow. It's something maybe to talk about tomorrow in class. When you're working on your projects and things like that. So let me go ahead and stop the recording here. I'm going to put this up